Hi everybody, welcome back. So you have finished the square peg and the round peg for activity 155, the pegboard toy. Now it's time to make the pegboard itself. If we scroll down in our document, you'll see here that it says open a new part file, and we're going to create the pegboard below. Look at the shapes. It's 3/4 of an inch high, 5 3/4 of an inch wide, and 3 inches in depth. Both holes should be properly centered both vertically and horizontally within the pegboard base, or the rectangular base. So let's think about that while I go to Inventor. Notice in Inventor I'm still in the pegboard project, and I'm going to create a new part. Now this one's a little more involved, so I'm actually going to go ahead and take time to save it right now. And I'm just going to call it Pegboard. Oh, I don't want IPJ. Okay, I'm glad it said that. I don't want IPJ. That's a project. I want a part file. So I just want to make sure I get Pegboard and that it says IPT. Ooh, I'm glad I saw that. So now we're creating a pegboard IPT. And when we look at the shape, let's go back and look at the shape again. I could draw a rectangle or a rectangle, but I would still have to come back and cut these holes out separately. Or I could draw a top view with these shapes already on there. I think it's going to be better if we do that. Let's try that. Oh boy, I may change my mind later. Let's find out. So we'll start a sketch, and I'm going to click on this sketch plane here because it represents more of a top view, right? So I'm going to zoom, pan. I'm going to draw a rectangle and make it as big as I can without any dimensions. We'll make it somewhere in this neighborhood, right there. Something like that. Now, how big was it supposed to be? Well, if we're drawing it in this view, then this will be the extrusion distance, 5 3/4 and 3 inches. So let's look. So this distance here, sorry.
Kaya the boat, if you're still in the building, can you please go to room 234? Kaya the boat, if you're still in the building,
go to room 234.
234.
Okay. Sorry about that, kiddos. All right, so this should be 5 3/4. So we have to either, whoa, what did I click on? That's what I meant to click on. You go away. Okay. So 5 3/4 can be expressed as 5.75. And then the other value is 3 inches. So this dimension over here should say 3 inches. Now there are some other shapes on there, and this is the part I'm kind of going back and forth on. Should we go ahead and draw the circle and the square? Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to draw a circle, and I'll go ahead and throw the rectangle on there also. Now notice I very purposefully drew them slightly different sizes because I did not want any extra constraints. Nothing extra. So to dimension the circle, I need to provide a size dimension. I don't know why it's shaped like that. That's so weird. And it should be 1. My square should also be 1 and 1. And now we have to talk about where they belong on our pegboard. Well, if the whole thing is 5 3/4, and I want these to be spaced evenly, then we get to do some math, or we let the computer do the math. Who wants to do the math? You or the computer? Yeah, I agree. Let's let the computer do it. So let's dimension the circle from the center point to this bottom edge. And to be centered, it should be half of this, right? So check this out. This is awesome. I'm going to click on this dimension. And instead of changing this number myself, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to make it go away. I'm going to click on this dimension. And see how I put D1? That means this is D1, dimension 1. Dimension 1 divided by 2. Green check mark. Now the nice part about doing it that way is if we change this number, this would automatically adjust. So that's a bonus. That's awesome. Now we need to do this one the same way, but we don't have the luxury of a center point. So we actually have to do this. We need to think of a relationship of this dimension and this dimension. Well, it's 1/3, isn't it? So if I dimension from here to here, instead of changing this to a number, I'm going to click on this divided by 3, 1/3. Nice, nice. Worked out really well. Now that takes care of our dimensions in this direction. What about our dimensions this way? How are we going to position those in such a way that they're evenly spaced? This is, again, students, this is called parametric dimensioning, and it's tricky. Okay? So I'm going to dimension this center point to this edge, and I'm just going to put it up here for now, just for now. And then I'll dimension from this edge to here, maybe? That's one way we could do it. Okay? Now those numbers aren't good right now. I'm just moving this dimension down so that it's out of the way. I want to make sure you see that these are the ones we're looking at. I'm going to make this one go somewhere else too. I don't like where it is. We'll put it down here for now. It's weird that it's doing it that way. Okay. So this dimension should be 1/3 of that dimension, right? So I'm going to edit this dimension. I can edit the dimensions afterwards by double-clicking on it. I'm going to click on this dimension divided by 3 and say OK. Nice, nice. Now can I do the same thing with this? Let's try. If I type this dimension divided by 3, that doesn't look very evenly spaced. And the reason is because we went to the center of the circle, but here we went to the edge of the square. So the way we have to modify that is we have to adjust this value so that it relates to the center of our square. Well, we want to go half this much, right? We want to go 0.5 more. So watch how we do that. I can actually type in plus 0.5. Whoa, that went the wrong way, didn't it? I needed to say minus 0.5. So we can actually adjust our values accordingly so that now our square and our circle are evenly spaced along this width. And they're centered along this depth. Wow, that was a lot for one part, huh? Well, let's finish the sketch. Whoa, zoom out. Let's go ahead and extrude it. You remember the distance? 3/4. Now notice it didn't pick the profile. I have to actually click on here and then type in my 3/4. And then say OK. Nice. Good job. Congratulations, you have successfully completed the pegboard. Please go back and rewatch parts of this, especially the parametric dimensioning. That is something that takes a lot of practice, and it's a little bit of a challenge to wrap your head around it. Just understand that every dimension is given a name. D0, D1, D2, D3. Those are the names of the dimensions. And then what we do with those, we can perform mathematical operations to those. But there's our pegboard. I'm going to click Save. And then I'll eagerly wait for you at the next step, which is creating the assembly of our parts. Good job again. Congratulations.